Nation. The world today is in a desperate situation. Desperate situation. Stealing, burning, fighting, killing, nothing but corruption. It looks like mankind is on the eve of destruction.
Oh, yes. And we can do this, family. Attitude of gratitude. Choose what you're grateful for, family. June 25th, 2013. First, give honor to the creator of this universe and all that it inhabits. And to my mother, Shirley Hardy, the elder in my life, I greet you all in love and kindness today. We're getting on board this train. You all listen to a live broadcast of Health Talk, Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends, right here on the airwaves of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. Community, our focus is with the 3 C's in life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. You can email your questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com. That's innerlightradio@yahoo.com. You can call in with your positive conversation to share 310-928-7733. That's 310-928-7733. We ask that you please mute your phone. You will be entering the live chat room, and we will announce you to join the conversation by your phone number or your Skype name. I'm Dr. Karen Davis, folks. They call me Dr. K, and I do thank you for tuning into this show. For on this show, we honor all who have and all that will emancipate from medical mental slavery. And we honor you on Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery, which is every April 30th of the year. Our message is real simple. Health is all about consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. So we invite you on the show to take out pen and paper, use your imagination, use your thoughts, and relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal healthcare plan. So we say, what prescription will you create for your healing journey? We are sharing the natural laws and principles for life and health. So come and get on board the friendship train to healthcare. You see, we are taking a Harriet Tubman's ride. Family and community, you know there is no greater ride. For on this ride, it is all about self-healing and self-help. That's health education for longevity and peace. And you don't need a ticket. We just invite you to come on board. So we'd like to welcome you to the Wellness Checkpoint. So now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts. My regular friends joining me in the chat room are Wanda Whitaker, anchored in spirit, Pacifica, California. Miss Rachel Pope with Let's Talk Wisdom, Blessings Flow Empire in Waldorf, Maryland. And again, I'm Dr. K from Washington, D.C., broadcasting live. I am here. We are all to remind us that all that you are is a result of all that you have thought. And again, health is all about consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. We ask you, who is in the driver's seat of your temple? Are you ready to take back control of that wheel and create your own health paradigm? Because we know you can do it. So sit back, become a master of your health and your life, and take that deep, deep breath. That deep breath, and listen here as we take this universal love ride about cellular ecology and the quantum effect, the artist shift, moving to conscious self-health care. Welcome to Health Talk, Health Wise. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing with your friends. We appreciate your emails, your comments, and just bringing people on board the friendship train and letting people know that you can create a whole new paradigm in healthcare as soon as you let go of the illusion of disease care. That's what it's all about, family. Rising to a new thought. How are we doing today, Wanda Whitaker?
Karen, I am so blessed in gratitude and appreciation for all that I have and for all that I am.
I am. There's some powerful words. I am that I am that I am.
Yeah, to know it. Once you know that, then you can be a master of your life.
When you vibrate to those words, and I am comes in other forms too. When you say those words, you got to be very, very careful because you are creating faster than you ever know. People think the future is far away. The present is so quick now that what you think about shows up just like that. And you go, whoa, what happened? Shifting energy is happening and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. And I'm so thankful that I'm here this time on Earth plane.
Well, it was a choice. You decided to come.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding me, Wanda. We have a special guest joining us on Health Talk Healthwise tonight, Apostle Ron Spears, and he got a hand from Miss Rachel Pope back on the caboose. She put our hand, and he came on board, and we're going to be talking with him later during the show. Not too much later, but we're going to be talking to him later during the show. But Rachel, how you doing this week?
I'm still flying, you guys. I'm flying with all this energy going around. But I have something. I know I'm not going to be talking about animals, but I want to tell you about the animals real quick. Because you know how hot it is here in D.C. And I was blessed to receive some tickets to this barbecue cookout in D.C. And nothing but pork, beef, and all kind of stuff. But, it didn't faze me at all. And I was like, how are they able to eat this stuff out in this heat? And I'm going to tell you, those that's out there, don't put no lotions on your legs. I'm going to tell you, that start sweating. Armpits start sweating. I'm very observant. And I'm going to tell you something. When we saw Chick-fil-A, I'm calling it out. Even the cow deflated. Hanging on the side of the building. I said, now it's too hot to be out here. Get me home. I tell you, I've been laughing ever since because I can see things out of smallest things. So that's what I observe, and a lot of stuff is happening like that. Like you said, when you think of something, immediately it shows up, and that's what's been happening. So I'm trying to keep up.
So you were thinking about that pork?
No, wait a minute. No, I wasn't thinking about the pork. I was thinking about somebody else who's a chef. To show him what he should be doing, and I met somebody else to give them free tickets to get in. I would be a blessing for people while I was out there.
I know you was.
I was handing out free tickets. They didn't have to pay whatever the amount it was. So, hey.
That was good. Y'all would learn the experience. You got to be around it all and know that who's in control. And Wanda, what you say that magic work is all about a choice.
It's all about a choice. We can choose one thing or the other. We can choose to think one way or the other. The choice is ours.
That's it. Anything you do special this week, Wanda?
I was painting this week. I was in the mood to paint, the creative mode. And, everybody reaches this time of wanting to create something. Whether it's a poetry, a written word, or maybe you want to say some nice words to a friend, or you just want to be creative. And I reached that point the other day when a zone was opening for me. And that's when I have to get inside that zone and do some work.
Yeah, I know.
I love it. I put on some John Coltrane and that's it.
So you go there and I put on some Gil and I just be in the mood.
Y'all too.
But this is the time for creativity. We are in the era of creativity, and quite frankly, the internet and technology has allowed everyone to be more creative. And I'm loving that. I'm loving seeing everyone write their own music and seeing them produce it and be on YouTube or just have their music available for us to hear.
I know. I just love the shift in how people are able to do this for themselves, Oh,
No.
Whoa, sending light and love and guidance. And all I can say is we got a divine ancestor that's looking over us now. When you got somebody that's rising with the energy and the fortitude and the will of Nelson Mandela, who is now an ancestor at age 84. I mean, I can feel the vibration there, 94. And so he just became an ancestor. The thing about it is, see, that's more energy and more light shining down on us to help us humans be better who we are in our divine self. So even though he's not here in the physical form anymore, I know that we have more guidance and more light and more energy now. And so just when we chime the meditation this afternoon, we would definitely be sending light and love to the world and the community. Woo!
Well, he's doing fine.
Hey.
We aren't.
I just said it. Go ahead, Juan. Make it real plain. Make it real plain.
He's at home, where we all going to go back to anyway.
We got light and love shining on us now. You know, I had a fantastic week this week. I was invited by Health Services for Children with Special Needs, Department of Family and Community Service Development in Washington, D.C. I was invited to share with their male caregivers advocacy support group as one of facilitating a workshop for them. And, of course, my workshop was moving from disease care to conscious health care. And ladies, you know, in community, I have to tell you, it was wonderful. Because, you know, I had this banner of the wonderful print that Wanda did to represent Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. And so I had the title, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. And underneath it says, moving from disease care to conscious health care. So to see these gentlemen, these guys, all walks of life come in, and they're looking at this poster, this banner on the wall, and you're seeing all these expressions, and you're seeing all these emotions. They're like, how we going to do that? And special kids training and this and that, and we got to take care of our kids and all that. That was the best workshop that I have done in so long. It was truly an amazing workshop. And one of the techniques that I actually used, which is really not a technique, it's just the way we're supposed to be, was working in the zone, the principles that JC gave us. And so with me flipping that switch a little bit, and I saw all the emotions when they saw the sign, and they wasn't quite sure where I was going to come from and what I was going to talk about and how I was going to be. And when I just said that emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery, whatever it means to you to get you back in control of your health care and your life, that's what it means. I cannot define it for you. If you're feeling out of sync and you're not quite vibrating to how you should be and the way you should be, it's time for you to take an assessment of how you live in your life and what you're doing. And it's a self-assessment. And you can do it without even having anything to compare it to, but assess how you feel and how you once knew you felt. And you can create that. And so that was the greatest workshop because it made them feel a lot better. When they realized I had worked for many years for Goodwill Industries, I had worked with, as they call, the whole spectrum of people that they consider has an issue. And I never have seen them as having an issue, and I would never see anyone as having an issue. I'm going to see you in your divine self. So I want to thank them for having me coming over there and share with them. It was just simply wonderful, and it was just a great time. I spent time with RAP Incorporation, the Regional Addiction Prevention Center in D.C., which has been here for 4 decades. And they were having a groundbreaking ceremony this past week. They're going to have a brand new green facility. And I was there vibrating with Dr. Kakai Winston Patterson, who's been very much a part of their 40 years there. And we were just vibrating that we know it's going to be a quantum effect for that program in the future coming. So I had a great time. It was a fantastic week. And so looking forward to continuing to sharing today. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and invite our guests in to come and share with us. And we're so excited to have Apostle Ron Spears on our show of Faith and Power Christian Center in Durham, North Carolina. Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified lenthologist and Nest healthcare provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, forselllife.com. The number 4, the words sell, CELLLIFE.com. Step up to conscious self-health care. That's right. You got to relax that mind. Stay out of that stress response. Woo woo. Are you on board this friendship train? You are tuned into Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends, Wanda Whitaker and Rachel Pope, and family community for our new listeners. And you know that on this show, we honor you. We honor you that have taking the time to consider how you have been caring for your health. And when you step up out of the dark ages of disease care, and when you release yourself from pharmaceuticals, and when you put yourself on the right path to allow your body to be the divine being that it is, we honor you on this show. And we're assisting you with letting go the thought of disease care, letting go of your medication. So yes, this is a positive, uplifting show. And even though you may be feeling like I'm in the worst state of life, keep tuning in and the vibrations will meet up with you. And then we will be having you on this show as well to share your journey, your story, to assist someone else with knowing that they can. Each one reach back, take a hand, and bring them on board the friendship train. So Ms. Rachel Pope, you have someone joining us today.
Yes, I do. I'm going to go in and explain about my segment and go right into the introduction. My name is Rachel Pope, known as the Visionary. One of my gifts is to being a great listener is to learn from the elders, and my segment is List Talk Wisdom, and I tell you what is what with a twist. Only come to me if you really want to know the truth. This information will be coming from my daily journey experiences from the elders in our community, nature, and for those who is seeking the enlightenment to join this freedom train of knowledge and wisdom of the truth of life. We need to open our eyes and see things more clearly, have the gratitude for the smaller things in life. We can learn so much when we are still and check out our surroundings and learn from the distant. So, I would like for everyone to listen with your heart while I share this particular story with you. Tonight, I have a special guest who has accepted my hands to step up on this caboose of the Freedom Train. Please join me tonight and listen to his story. So I welcome you, Apostle Ron Spears, and thank you for stepping up on this Freedom Train, getting in to gain more knowledge of the truth that you can hold on to your self-care plan for a healthier livelihood. Mr. Apostle Spears, Ron Spears, attended Winston-Salem State University, and he majored in political science. He obtained a master and PhD in the Christian education from Omni Theological University. He went to the undergraduate school in Winston-Salem. Yes, he loves the Lord, and he has been in ministry for 26 years. He holds the office of an apostle, been very health conscious all his life. He is the pastor of Faith Empowered Christian Center in Dunn, North Carolina. We welcome you this day, Apostle Ron Spears, on the Friendship Train. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. How you doing?
We are great.
We're doing wonderfully well. This is Dr. K, Apostle Mr. Ron Spears, and I want to thank you so much for taking that hand and coming on board as a pastor of your church and sharing your story with the community because it's so important. I'm just thankful that you're here, and again, welcome to Health Talk Health Wise.
Thank you, Dr. K.
I want to ask him to address concern about when he found out about his dis-ease That's what we call it, Ron. Not disease, but disease called Parkinson. When did that occur in your life, and how did you get over that?
Okay. Well, one of the things that I really didn't know I had it at first, what happened that I was in the workforce at that time. I was a supervisor at a major company, and a friend of mine just had a heart attack, and just exploded. His heart exploded right there. And so I started having all these crazy patients myself, knowing that I was health, but still, the mind plays tricks on me. And so I went to the doctor, and they looked at me, and they said, something, you're not having a heart attack. The necessary examinations all, thoroughly, and then they stated, but you do have a touch of Parkinson's disease. And I said, oh, Lord, but, at that time, I really wasn't too familiar with it until, I don't think I knew about Muhammad Ali having it. But yet I did go and study it more. And because I guess the first thing that happens to you whenever you receive any type of news is the fact that fear factor comes in. And at that time I was just kind of like getting embraced in ministry. So I was not at the faith level that I'm at this point. So it did cause a amount of fear on me. And so I began to go to the doctor and, drawing all this blood every week, and then, putting me on, I forgot what medication it was. Well, one day I decided that, I'm just going to, trust God in this, and I kind of pulled myself away from it, especially when I began to study and find out that, that most pharmaceutical drugs are made with, hallucinogenics. And so, and in the Greek, it means pharmako, which is literally mean witchcraft. So I kind of backed away from it and began to cause my body to go to another dimension through exercise and eating right. And because, I found out if you can speed your metabolism up, you mostly can about outrun most, what you call it, DZ. Well, how do you put it, DZ?
Cellular malfunctions. Cellular malfunctions. Cells will malfunction. Yeah, cellular malfunctions.
Okay, and so upon that point, I never had to go back. That's been, like I said, a long time ago, and I'm fine now. And but that's the time I began to kind of pull away from, any type, most any type pharmaceutical drug.
Okay, but Apostle Paul, if I may, you said some time ago. So I know you gave us your age now. Do you mind me saying it?
Rachel made me say it. Well, Rachel put it on.
That's what I'm saying. So it's wonderful because, see, we're not aging community, as Mama Ayo Kendi says on the Sage and Baby Boomer show. We're not aging, we are saging. Yeah. And so I'm saying this for a reason, Apostle Paul, because you are saging.
Ron, you call me
Paul. I sure did. Spears.
You call me Apostle Paul.
Apostle Spears. I don't know who Apostle Paul is, but he just came through me, so he must be somebody good. So he told me to say that. So there that is right there. So we'll keep moving on.
He is the next man.
We'll take that and honor that. So, but at 56, so you're sage, and so at what age did they actually tell you that you had the cellular malfunction of Parkinson's?
It was 28, I believe, 28.
28 years. And right now, during this time, we have our youth between the ages of 13 and up to 32. They are really going through a lot right now. And encouraging all of them to look at how they've been living their lives because, as we know, the youth is not outliving the parents. So you made a good change at 28, but you said you just got into ministry. And so you...
At that point, yeah.
At that point.
When I found out I had just gotten into ministry, that's correct.
Okay, and you said that your faith is different now, and so what what have you learned or adopted from the scriptures in the Bible to assist you with health care now that you are sharing with your attendees at your church?
Okay, my favorite one, my favorite one, the one that really changed me was the fact it was in Psalms 103 and 5, and it says, the Amplified of it said, "Who satisfies your mouth with necessary and desires of your personal age and situation with good, so that your youth is renewed like an eagle." And I took that very literally, because of the fact that I understand, and I listened to you guys the other day, and I think, I don't know which one said this, but this statement said, and I think it paralleled what I've received back in those days. Where she said, growing old doesn't mean that you will be sick, but being sick does increase age or mean that you're growing old. And so therefore, I found out that this scripture, which I use and digest every day, and that God wants to satisfy our mouth with good things. Okay, the good things has to be, as I have heard you guys elaborate on over and over, is the fact of thinking positive, making sure that you don't digest negativity, creating the best of every moment, even when it seems dismal, that you find some way to create good out of it, because of the fact what you feed your body, and I know we look at it naturally food too, which I am very strict on that too, but what you feed your body emotionally also controls sickness. And so, and since the Bible stated that he wants to satisfy our mouth with good things, that our youth is renewed, and we know that we know that within the body that cells renew themselves all the time, consistently. And so I believe that if a person begins to make the right applications, like for instance, I told someone when I was, I think I was playing basketball in college. I told him, I said, I guarantee you at 80 years old, I'm still going to be playing basketball. Now, it looked like a crazy statement at that time, and they laughed at me, but I kept that in my mindset, and I continued to maintain the physique. Well, I still play basketball now almost as good as I did when I was in college. And so I'm looking to perform that state that at 80 years old, I'm still going to be able to play basketball. And then within the scripture also, we looked at, that whenever Moses began his ministry, he didn't start before he was 80. And the Bible proclaims that our body is designed to live at a physical realm 120 years. So if we do the right things and like I said, maintain, the biggest thing is maintain a positive outlook on whatever you're doing and not let stress be the main foundation of your life, then I guarantee you, I'm a prime example that you're going to live better, you're going to look better, you're going to live longer and everything. So, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep going on like that.
No, you're supposed to. This is your time. That's what we want. We want you to share your story, considering that you are apostle of a church, and it's so important because I think because I understand that you thoroughly research Health Talk, Health Wise, and me. So I appreciate that very much. I'm a health minister for Hallelujah Acres, and I just love Reverend Malcolmus for what he's doing with Hallelujah Acres, and definitely his first book was Why Christians Get Sick. And as a pastor, he looked at his health through his mother's health issues and how she did her life, and then he began to ask questions and start looking at the verses in the Bible, not only for the spiritual part of who we are, but also how to help us move around in this temple that we are. And so it's amazing to me that we have some pastors that can do this, and most of the pastors in other church are, when a person's come to them with the ailments or what's going on with them, they send them back to the doctor or they do things like that. So Apostle Ron, when someone comes to you in your church with this information, and you're a person that removed medication from your life and think as positive as you are and as spiritual as you are, how do you support them with looking at a whole new paradigm through the scriptures in the Bible?
Well, the first thing I tell them is that look at the scriptures as a truth. And the Bible says, so a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, therefore, if they make a deep study of it, of the scripture, they realize that most of everything that they took then was dealing with just herbal contents. It had nothing to do with drugs whatsoever. And when God created this earth, He created it to be self-sufficient. And when He put man in the garden, He told him, and everything, I have given you everything you needed. And one of the things that was not there was pharmaceuticals. So
I like that.
So one of the things that we have to do is just trying to reflect back to the scripture. And I know that now that there's a lot of us that there's a lot of people that's on the different medications and stuff, and you can't. The only thing I can do is give them supportive fact based on my own life. And I believe this right here. You got to be a product of what you say, and I think that my colleague there can support the thing that I do look like I'm talking about. Am I right?
Oh yes, I'm just fascinated on what I'm listening to. I hear you. Go on, preach.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
But this is something that that I just truly believe, and when someone comes up to me with these questions like you've asked me, once again I share with them, what has happened in my life, and I give them the options, because one of the things I have to be careful of is not increasing fear in people's lives whenever they've been hooked on this stuff. And like, for instance, I think I've talked to several people about, for instance, if someone got high blood pressure, just run over real quick, simple stuff like cranberry, will bring it down, right then. It get into your system a whole lot quicker, and it does right then. But once again, you want to get to a point, and I try to teach them preventive maintenance of their body too, so that they can make sure they can detect this stuff early and get rid of it. But
redefine the symptoms in their bodies, redefine the symptoms of their bodies to message in their bodies, and using the scriptures to help them bring about a better balance within themselves. And part of that is, like you said, the scripture that tells you how to eat and how to feed the temple. So when they start feeding their bodies right, the illusion of all diseases, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to name them, disappears. And you recognize that it's the things that you're telling your body. And you hit on some key words, in your talk with us. You talked in terms of emotions. You talked about the heart. You talked about stress and relaxation. And that's what we're talking about here. And the main thing I really like what you said is come on and fly like an eagle. Fly like an eagle to be free. Wanda, you want to share something with Apostle?
I really like what he's doing, especially with his practitioners and people who are coming to him, because he's opening them up to what the Bible is saying in connection to their health. That is so important. And when he talked about how he changed, there was a defining moment in his life when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and he said, no, I am not taking these pills anymore. I am a believer. I have faith. And I know that if I do this, then I can beat this. I mean, he had to believe it. And through his belief and his faith, he overcame it because he knew that he was perfect and complete already. So
Wow,
I
I like
really enjoyed what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I want to input this too. This is something that happened that I was in a basketball accident and I got my arm shattered in 3 places, and I went to the doctor because it was really aching. I went there, and they told me that they said your arm is really messed up. We're gonna have to put pins in it and rods to reconnect it because it was messed up so bad. And I immediately at that point I was already used to exercising my faith, so I began to tell them the first thing that you have to do is when information like that comes to you, you have to block it and turn it once again into a positive effect. And so when they said, I said, wait a minute, I hear you. I said, but I don't. And I said, I tell you what, do me a favor, just put it in a sling because I had a revival to do, and I didn't want to stand up in front of all those young people with a cast on. And so I said, just put it in a sling or something, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And I just kept speaking to my own arm, and in 10 days, well, it wasn't even 10 days yet, but it happened in the middle of the church service, and my wife was living at that time, and the bones grew right back, right there. And because I kept speaking it, I just kept speaking, I kept believing it, and I never had to have surgery, I never had no cast or anything. And it was amazing. And see, this is documented, right, to the fact that they show the broken areas. It was so devastating that you could take and put your hand between my bones where they had broken. And but that night, I just believed. I just kept on with God. I'm not gonna have no rods and no pins in my arm. And so once again, I got healed right then. But the first thing is, when I encourage anybody who's listening, the first thing you got to do is negate whenever something is coming to you in a negative aspect, man. You got to find the positive solution to it immediately, because what you feed in your mind becomes part of your digestive systems, and you know that your blood carries the life, and so you got to be very careful that you block that.
That is powerful. Blocking it just can also mean just, accepting it, and you accept what was, or you accept what looked like, but it wasn't what it looked like. And what you did was you vibrated to what you wanted to be, because the body can heal. And that's a powerful statement to be talking about bones and having injuries like that, because most people say, well, what happens if I break my arm, if I break my leg? I really got to go to them. Not really. If you fully understand cellular ecology, the science of lithology, you understand that everything in the body rejuvenates itself in a period of time. Everything's new within a year, and that includes bones and tissues. And so I am more excited about that example on the friendship train ride than the Parkinson's disease on the friendship train ride. Wow,
Yeah,
that was a blessing right there, because that was awesome, because it is true. Because when you look at a scab and you're trying to figure out how that scab heals, or they put your leg in a cast, it's not the cast that's healing the body, people. The same way it ain't the drugs that's trying to correct anything in your body. Your body it knows exactly what to do, and if you give it that opportunity, it would do it. So that statement right there of what you went through with that arm, that is powerful. I got to cut this segment out.
Yeah, and notice what he said. He said he spoke to his body.
Ron, I was getting that next
Yes.
Body. Each cell is like a manufacturing plant.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a human being by itself. Each cell is a holographic picture of everything there is. And so when you speak it, and that's what I was saying, in actuality, you embraced it, because you released the negative infusion around that medical hexing that they told you, and you went into what you know and the divineness of your body. So
Wow.
that's what I wrote down. Speaking to his body. Coming out of that made me to that relaxation zone. That's what you do,
Hey.
ain't that, Rachel?
Hey, Karen, that made me think about the gentleman that you had me to look at the video, and I wrote down the new medicine is energy healing. Concerned about the fields, and the fields is energy and give vibrance to force, which leads to the signals, which leads to the protein, and then the difference of it making the changes based on the behavior of your environment to trauma, toxins, and thoughts. Like he said, he switched it the other way and spoke to himself.
Yeah,
And
change the
you
whole
were
vibration. And how you talk
Yeah.
about the bloodline being a fuel on the body. You know, we're having a great time, community, family, and friends. You are listening to Health Talk, Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends. We are here. Joining us in the chat room is Apostle Ron Spears, and he is sharing his health journey and how he shares with attendees of his church to really adapt a positive understanding of how the body can heal itself. We're going to take a commercial break. Apostle Spears, we want you to stay online with us, and we're going to come back, and we have an announcement for a new opportunity that we're going to have available on Health Talk Health Wise from Ms. Wanda K. Whitaker. So we're going to take a commercial break and come back, and we're going to hear from Wanda and then talk back with Apostle Spears.
When the word is on your shoulder.
Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation, 202-248-7749.
Oh, that's right. That's MJ. We're celebrating MJ and all the contributions that he brought to the world. That's right. Definitely. As he say, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. As I talk and share with you, I'm talking to myself. And that's what makes it much stronger. Woo-woo, self-care. So that's what we're doing, family community. This is the quantum effect, the art of shift. Moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. You can visit my website, forcelllife.com. The print that we want to infuse into the community is a print that vibrates into your being, who you are, and help you become the divine being that you are and vibrate into the zone. And we want to assist you with being there. That's why this show is all about positive self-health care. It doesn't matter how long you've been going through what you've been going through. It doesn't matter what the name they gave it is medical hexing, and you can do what Apostle Ron has done and many others and just make a shift in consciousness. And we're going to be offering you something to help you do that. Miss Wanda K. Whitaker.
Yes, Karen, I know that most people know me as a visionary artist and also a certified hypnotherapist. And I also practice emotional healing through a very unique numerical mapping process. And in doing so, it's, we have many stories. Rachel tells stories of animals, but there are stories that are stored in our DNA that affect our system and create disease in the body and prevent us really from having the life that we want. Whether it's more money, finances, career, relationship, whatever it is, in good health. And so this practice of what I do with the numbers is basically I'll ask someone to give me a number. Let's say you have a particular issue that you want to resolve. I will ask you to give me a number between a certain range. And from that number, I can determine what belief system has been passed down from your ancestral lineage to create the blockage and where it's being stored in the body, what organ it's affecting, so it can create the disease that you don't want or cellular malfunction. And we can also tell from these numbers the strategy that you adopted in order to survive. So there's a lot of things that come from numbers. And so I would love to, if someone called in and if they have a particular issue, I can ask them from a range of numbers, and then tell them their story as it relates to their issue. I believe, Rachel, I've done this with you before. You're very familiar with this practice, but a lot of people don't understand how emotions affect their bodies. And like Apostle Ron said, it is a lot of times all about emotions, and people don't even realize it.
Yes. And they really don't, because our first response is like we all say is fear. And fear is not in a relaxing state. And so we already know that our thoughts create our life. Our thoughts is a part of the physiological processes in our bodies. Our thoughts tell our cells what to do. And so when you think a negative thought, which is we look at it as the nocebo effect, and we normally stay in that state because we're always in a fight or flight state trying to adjust to the outside world. So as Wanda going to be sharing with you the numerology, now I shouldn't say numerology, but the number mapping and how that works, we're also going to be supporting you with staying focused, of staying in the zone. And we're using the principles that was given to us to share with the community, to share with anyone that's willing to shift their thinking from Light Energy John Christopher, which is Jamila A. Shabazz, spiritual guide, a non-physical entity that shares with us. And these principles are divine. And as conscious as I am, and applying these principles and sharing these principles with people is helping them really bring themselves into a new understanding. So with that and the number mapping and all that we do here, we want to really help you make a quick change, shift in your energy to bring you back into balance that you say that you truly want. And so we're really excited that Wanda is going to be doing many sessions with people on the show, and it's all a part of the art of shift moving, the moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. And the new book, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery, with that subtitle, is going to be coming out very soon with key phrases and things to help assist you with moving forward from out of this paradigm that we've been in for so long that has not served us, and how we want to be here in health and harmony. Karen, so we're excited about that, Wanda. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing, because a lot of times people get stuck and they just don't know what's happening to them. They can't move forward. They have all kinds of things going on with them, and they don't understand that it's coming from a belief system hidden deep within themselves. And once they find out what this belief is, change it, and reprogram it, then they can move on. A lot of times these beliefs come from their ancestral lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can back that up. This is Rachel speaking. I can back that up. And I see why my energy is like it is. So I changed a little bit of it. I'm still learning, Wanda, some new history of my ancestors. So you're absolutely correct.
Well, look at, is it Paula Deen?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what she's going through right now, well, you know, a lot of that is coming from her ancestral lineage or her background. You know, that is things that she is not really realizing is affecting her life.
Yep. And we all have those, and it's part of our subconsciousness. And we deal mostly with our conscious thinking, and we really don't realize that actually 90% to 95% of our thinking actually comes from those subconscious patterns. And we want to know why we're not having a success, because we're consciously thinking one thing, but that's not bringing about the manifestation that we really want, because we're not aware that there's all types of stimulants that brings up things in our subconscious mind that we're not aware of, and we don't know why we're getting these responses that we have when we're thinking one way, but it's not turning out the way that we're thinking, and we're not understanding why. So we want to help people bring a bridge together, bring your human self with your soul self, and be able to live here, honoring yourself, and more gratitude, and be more happy. And it's all about a choice. Just like Apostle Paul. I don't know who, Apostle Paul. Okay, thank you very much. Trying to tell me something that I'm telling you, I cannot wait to find out what this is all about. I cannot wait to find out what this is all about, because I love it. Because I know it's only divine, and I know it's only good, because that's how this conscious it works. Sending me messages, but I love it. But Apostle Ron, you done brought something powerful, and I can't wait to find out what it's all about. That's all I can say. So I want to let you share with us before we have to close out, because I'm really thankful that you're on this train ride, and it's not going to be the last time that we hear from you. I'm pretty sure of that. And as your members get on board the train more with yourself, we would like to have them come on and to share as well. But I just want to make this one statement from Reverend Malcolm at Hallelujah Acres. As I say, it's a lot of information out there that consists our Christian community that holds so closely to what they do, and they're not getting the help that they want as they are doing their prayers, that a lot of things can help you. And one of the things that he says, and you tell me how you feel about this, Apostle Ron, the world's way cannot be drugged into health. People cannot be drugged, poison in health. Drugs create problems rather than solve them. This is what Reverend Malcolm has had to say. To regain health, the sick person must cleanse the body of drugs and toxic substances. And we're talking about pharmaceuticals that have accumulated, and then provide the body with the proper raw materials and influences that will allow the body to purify, repair, and rebuild itself. Health cannot be restored by taking pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals cannot rebuild the cells of the body. The body is self-healing. When healthful practices are followed by positive thoughts and knowing who you are, just as you are able to witness the healing of a cut covered by a scab, or the healing of a broken arm covered with a sling, followed by new skin on the exterior. As the body heals itself, just so it heals on the inside when conditions are made favorable for it to be so. And as Wanda say, we'll help you bring up those patterns so you can know the divine being that you are, because in the truest of all of what is family community, I am healthy, and that's all that you are. And anything else is an illusion. Apostle Ron, what would you like to leave us with? And thank you so much for being on Health Talk Health Wise.
Thank you for having me, and I agree with the pastor, what he said, tremendously, because of the fact that, what pharmaceuticals does, it just numbs your mind. It doesn't really heal your body, it numbs your mind. And so I agree with that, and for the fact that and extracting it from your body, you go through a transition, but it's still worth it to get it out of your system and then begin to allow the natural process to take over. I do, in leaving, I do want to ask one little question, though, and that'll be it from there.
Okay.
And we do have a caller on the line. Just hold on for a moment, caller, and we will get to you. Go ahead, Apostle Ron.
Okay. The quick question is this, is that from your perspective, someone came up to you and told you high blood pressure condition, how would you respond to that?
If somebody came up to me personally and said they had high blood pressure, how would I respond to that? And they didn't know me, because most people know me. No, so you're saying that they didn't know me?
They know you. Well, they know of your position in this society, and just want to require you. I mean, what would be your answer to them? What would be your steps for them to take?
Okay, so if they came up to me and said to me, I have high blood pressure, what would I say to them and what would my steps be for them to take?
Yeah.
I would first ask them who told them or why they believe that they have high blood pressure and what is high blood pressure to them. I will let them start defining what it is and we'll work our way through it and realize that's not what they're having.
Okay.
So just because they walk up and they may say it, but I'm like, what is that? Tell me about it, And most often when you do that, people are just mimicking and repeating what someone told them and they really don't even know what it is. And so that, again, gets them to shift their energy and think about it, what they just brought into and why did they buy into that belief? Because someone just told them that. So that's normally what the first thing I would do when somebody called me. I would help them define it to me what they're speaking about.
That makes the same. Okay, that's what we have parallel thoughts that way. That's all. Thank you.
The truth can only come but one way.
That's right.
Well, Wanda, y'all both practitioners in a sense and not practicing, but we're all shifting and assisting people. Wanda, what would you do?
Well, first of all, I let them know that, people have high blood pressure all the time. When you drink coffee, your blood pressure goes up. A lot of times when you're doing different things, your blood pressure goes up, and so you have high blood pressure. And the fact that somebody tells you that is going to make you have high blood pressure because you're now reached a stress level, which is causing you to have high blood pressure. But first of all, I would ask them would they like to change it. And if their response is that they would like to change it, then I would go about explaining to them what high blood pressure is and how it's created in the body and how they can just change that simply by meditating. Do you know sitting and meditating will change that blood? And I know because every time I have gone to a so-called physician and they give me one of those high blood pressure, all I do is meditate right before and I'm fine. Go ahead.
So I was saying go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do, and then I would go on and talk about what's happening in their lives.
There we go. That emotional effect.
Yeah. What
Rachel? Rachel, you're an empathic listener. What would you?
Yeah, I am sitting back listening. I agree with Wanda because by me being affiliate with Howard University and they have me there as the creative relaxation specialist, they send those people over there to me to relax. And the first thing I look at them, of course, once you come in there, I have the lavender going on, but I ask them to start breathing, change their breathing, and music, and laying them down and relaxing and releasing all the stress. But Wanda is correct, concerned about meditation and slowing down, being still. Then my next step is, I got the information. Go to Dr. K website and change your mindset of the way that you're thinking or having people feed that information in your head. You need to clean it out, clean your body out. Just do what Dr. K says to do.
That's
that's it.
And change your life. You may not. Maybe you can't be that workaholic.
Right.
12 midnight. Maybe you have to work until 5.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yes, empowering yourself to take self-care and self-responsibility. And it's all about stepping up out of the illusion that we have diseases, period. And high blood pressure affects so many people because one of the things that, when we understand the new science or the new information of how the body works is that we must understand about the homeostasis state and the allostasis state. And what happens is whatever they name a disease, your body is just functioning as normal. Your body is adaptable. It knows what it needs to do. We are not average beings, and there is no average in blood pressure, no high, no low. The body knows what it needs to do based on its processing. So that is the illusion of high blood pressure. Pressure waves come from the heart, sending information out, and that's the heart center of everything. So they took that to call it high blood pressure to put you in fear. And there is no such thing as high blood pressure or any disease. The body knows what it's doing. You must give it the right raw materials and the right thought process. So you have been listening to Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends. Wanda K. Whitaker, Pacifica, California, anchored in spirit. And they can go to your website, which is what, Wanda?
www.anchoredinspirit.com.
And Miss Rachel Pope out in Waldorf, Maryland, Blessings Flow Empire with Let's Talk Wisdom. And they can reach you, Rachel.
They can call me 202-679-1360.
And Apostle Ron Spears, you have given so much divine information. If there's someone out there that would like to talk to you personally, is there a way that they can reach you? Or do they need to come through us to reach you?
I guess they can reach me.
Got an email address?
Yes, I do. The email address is ourspheres126@aol.com. Once again, ourspheres126@aol.com.
Because it's such a blessing and opportunity for all our Christian family and community and friends out there that's been using that book a different way. There's passages in there that if you reframe them to assist you with your being, you will be here much better. And I'm thanking Apostle Ron Spears for making himself available for you to call and chat with him to help you come on board the friendship train, the healthcare freedom. Loving you, family and community. Love is all there is. We are one, and vibrate to an attitude of gratitude and think on happiness and vibrate to that freedom. Thank you for tuning in to Health Talk Health Wise. We're loving you.
Yes, we love you.
You are divine. Greetings and love and kindness, family. This is Dr. K. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends. Right here, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Look forward to seeing and hearing from you on next Tuesday. Become our friend on Facebook, Dr. Karen Davis Folks, and like our page, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. Tune into our YouTube channel, K Davis F, and visit our website, www.4celllife, CELLLIFE.com. We also invite you to tune into Frank Talk Real Talk with host Reverend Dorita Dixon every Monday at 7:30 p.m. And the Sage and Baby Boomer Show with host Ayo Handy Kendi. That's every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right back to Health Talk Health Wise every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m.